think we're on. Yeah. Excuse me. All right, guys. So I've had this idea, kind of start like a podcast or a video stream of some sort. Um, so I'm gonna wing it. Suggestions are welcome. Topics are welcome. Anything you guys want to talk about? Um, my goal, my purpose of doing this is to talk about business, talk about tint, PPF, vinyl, auto restyling of any sort, um, and just kind of to network with other people and maybe have some people on. You know what I mean? It'd be cool just to, instead of me just sitting here after work talking to a computer, uh, to have other people on board with it. Other small business owners, things like that. And we can talk about any small business. I don't really. I'm gonna emphasize and try to get in with more of the automotive stuff. Um, the tint, the PPF, wrapping, just because that's what I do. So that's what a lot of my network does. So I want to kind of keep that together, keep that topic, I guess, or that group of individuals together. So, but it doesn't. I mean, we can talk generic small business too. If it's a small business and you want to talk about how you got started, or tips, tricks, struggles, trials, whatever you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off. For those that don't know me, I'm Jake Prater, owner of JP Tint Studio. I started my business in March of 2020, when COVID was like just popping up. People were like, oh my God, what is it? What is this? What is that? What are we gonna do? Everybody's gonna die. And no one knew nothing. We were all freaking out. And so I was sitting here like, okay, I've got a family to feed. What if I lose my job? Yada yada yada. So my neighbor owed me a little bit of money. It wasn't much. It's like 100, 150 bucks, something like that. And he knew that I played with Jeeps a little bit. And he goes, hey, I just blew the motor in my Jeep. He goes, what's it worth to you? I said, well, it ain't worth much more than a scrap, bub. I said, it's a blown motor. It's an old shitty Grand Cherokee with mismatched doors and everything. And, he's like, well, what if I give you that instead of paying you? And I said, yeah, fuck it. Whatever. We can do that. So I took it to the house and just listed it, hey, I got some Jeep parts for sale. Just try to recoup some funds. At this point, I was not thinking business. I was not thinking that this was going to be some lucrative venture. So someone was like, hey, I need the transmission out of that. Is it good? I said, yeah, it was good up until the motor blew. So I have no reason to believe it's bad. He says, well, I'll give you 350 bucks for it if you pull it. All right, then. That's my money and then some. So sold that, and then I sold, I don't know, over the next month or so, I sold a handful of parts off of it, made 500, 600, 700 bucks, whatever it was. And then I was like, well, this could be the answer to our problems. So I went and bought more shitty cars and sold parts off of that, and then bought more shitty cars and sold parts off of those. And that went on for about a year. And 2021, I bought a car to flip. Now, keep in mind, this is in my wheelhouse. I've been piddling with cars and been a mechanic for, well, pretty much my entire working career. So I bought another Jeep because I knew Jeeps well. So I bought another Jeep and put a transmission in it. Turned around, sold it, made some money, and I was like, this is easy. It's gravy. It's easy money. So went and bought another shit box that needed fuel lines and some brakes and stuff like that, and turned around and sold it. It was some rusted out 300,000 mile Chevy pickup. And then I bought more and bought more and bought more, and I flipped cars for a year. And keep in mind, I'm still working full time. Thankfully, we weren't laid off or anything like that. We had plenty of business. We were essential. So yeah, the COVID thing didn't really affect us too much. But at the beginning, we didn't know. We didn't know if we were going to lose our jobs. We didn't know if we were going to be laid off. We didn't know what the hell was going to happen. So come August of 21, that same year, I was like, I'm going to start a dealership. Yeah, to hell with this. I'm gonna do this legit, and I'm gonna get a dealer's license. So I went to dealer training and filed my LLC. It was JP Motors LLC is my actual LLC, and so I just kept flipping cars and selling parts, flipping cars, selling parts, flipping cars, selling parts, scrapping cars, selling converters. Doing all this stuff to get money. In fact, you can see right. Camera's backwards here. Anyway, that's my tow truck right there sitting in my shop. So I still do it now. I don't flip cars anymore. Quite frankly, I don't have the time. But I still buy cars for scrap when I'm slow, still sell used parts. I've got 8 or 10 of them sitting at the house now. So anyway, August of 2021, I do my LLC. I'm going to start a dealership. Woohoo. And then something changed. I don't know exactly what it was. I think a lot of it was the hoops that you had to jump through to get a dealer's license, which isn't bad. I mean, it's really easy to get a dealer's license in Missouri. It's, you got to take your class. You got to have a bona fide business. You have to meet certain state requirements, background check, and a handful of other things. Bond, you have to have surety bond. You have to have insurance. You have to have, it's not that hard. But something changed. And I was like, you know what? I'm selling all these used parts. I'm selling these used cars. Why don't I start doing the aftermarket stuff? I've been doing it forever. I've sprayed headliners. I've done lift tires, nerf cars. Hell, I've worked in aftermarket workshops, from everything from engine wiring to lift kits, wheels, tires. Again, spraying headliners. I did it all. And so I was like, why don't I just do that myself? So I picked up a few distributors and I added that to JP Motors. Now I'm JP Motors, aftermarket truck accessories, auto salvage, scrap cars, used car emporium, I guess. And so that was fun for a little while. But anyway, I got into remote starts. I kind of took a step back from flipping cars because this aftermarket stuff was fun. I enjoyed it a lot more. There was a little bit more demand. I thought, I take that back. There wasn't more demand. There's always demand for cars. But there was a void, I guess, that could be filled in my area by offering these services. Winter came along, started doing remote starts. Well, my remote start, the people I bought my remote starts from they're local. And I walk in and they're like, hey, you do remote starts. It's like, yeah, that's why I'm here. Like, hey, what about Tint? You ever thought about doing Tint? And I was like on Windows, Tint and Windows? He's like, yeah. I said, dude, no, I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the time for that. I got ADD like a motherfucker. Like, that's not going to work for me. And so I blew it off. And then, we talked about it a couple more times. And finally, it was like, I'll give it a shot. Why the hell not? I'll give it a shot. And so I bought a roll of film. And in fact, actually, a buddy of mine bought me a roll of film. He's like, if you're going to learn to tint, I'll buy your first roll of film, and you tint my truck for free. Okay. So he invested in me, and he got his windows tinted for free, him and his girlfriend both. And so I started watching some YouTube videos, and I was trying to do whatever I could on my own. Again, part-time. I'm working full-time at this, up to this point. And I was like, I could do this. It's extremely frustrating. I have pissed away more money in film than I even care to admit. By this point, I was 3-4 rolls deep and just probably 10, 5, 6 cars. Mine, my wife's, my friend's, his girlfriend, a couple of buddies of mine, played with some window tint with them. And then I go back and I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And he's like, well, let me hook you up with somebody. Call this guy and see what See if he won't help you. Because I was talking to him, I was like, hey man, what about the Tint Institute in Jacksonville, Florida? And what about the university so whatever the hell it was, all these different tent schools and stuff. And he's here, take down this number and call this guy and see if he won't teach you how to tent. And I was like, okay, so I'm just cold calling some random dude I've never met in my life and be like, hey, will you teach me everything you worked in your entire career for to learn? And he goes, I quote, I verbatim. He goes, one, I'm not going to teach you how to tint if you don't want a hand cut. You want to use a plotter, then fuck off because I'm not going to teach you sticker. I'm not going to teach you to put on stickers. I'm going to teach you to fucking tint. So, okay. He goes, second, if you come in here and I teach you how to tint and you think for a hot fucking second that you're going to screw me over, I'll make sure you never tint a window in this fucking state again. I was like, Jesus, dude, what the fuck happened? Sure, I mean, that's cool. We can all eat, dude. I just want to learn, man. I'm not trying to fucking run you out of business. So let's fast forward. I started hanging out with him a couple 3 nights a week or something like that. I don't recall exactly. And he was teaching me how to do some tint, and I'd go over there and help him out sometimes. I call it helping out. What it was I was watching him and learning how to do it. And he got somebody, I guess, to put stickers on because I wasn't really cutting or anything at that point. So we wind up having a great relationship. We wind up being really good friends, actually. And he's not only a mentor, but like I said, he's a really good friend of mine now. In fact, we work together sometimes. He'll hire me to do some subcontract work. He taught me how to do automotive tint. He taught me how to do residential tint, commercial tint. I mean, I have tinted more windows with that man than I care to admit, and it's been great. He has taught me a lot. I am continuing to learn from him every time I'm with him. So anyway, fast forward to February of 20. What year are we in now? 24. So fast forward to February of 2023. So everything I just covered was basically 2021 and 2022. Okay. I'm still doing the scrapping and stuff like that. I'm still doing the salvaging, but my focus is window tint. I love it. I fell in love with window tinting. It is amazing. It's fun. I enjoy it. It is an art. It is a skilled craft that requires attention to detail and discipline. And I mean, it was challenging. It is challenging. I mean, I had a car today that kicked my ass. I mean, it happens. You know what I mean? But then there's other cars you can get done in. I mean, I'm not the fastest tender in the world by any means. I don't claim to be, and I don't really even care to be frank with you. I usually tint. I'll put 2, maybe 3 cars on the schedule in a day. Okay. I had one today that whipped my ass up until lunch, and it was just dumb piddly shit. But anyway, excuse me. Let's see. I went full time February of 2023. I quit my job, and I just jumped feet first. Hope for the best. I had my personal shop. It's 30 by 40 on my property, and it's the one that I've been working out of for the last couple of years. And I was afraid. I was terrified to do this. I mean, I made decent money. I mean, I wasn't like getting rich or anything, but I made decent money. My wife made decent money, and taking a job where or leaving a job where you have security, and you're good at it, and you're a senior technician. I mean, it was very, very scary. And my wife was pregnant with our second kiddo. And she goes, if you don't quit, because I came home and I was pissed, and I was like, I want to go on my own so fucking bad. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. She's like, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it, because once the second baby's here, you're just going to make up more bullshit excuses. So my wife I love her. She is the light of my life. Okay. Basically looked me in the eye and said, "Get after it, you fucking pussy, or you're never going to." So I was like, all right, you have more faith in me than I do. And at this point, I was pretty irritated at my job with a handful of things that were going on. And it was just kind of growing and growing and growing. And I would just got to the point where I fucking hated it. I loved what I did. I hated who I worked for. My boss was a piece of shit. Um, I'm not going to name the company. It doesn't matter. But that's, yeah. So anyway, I quit, come home full time. And that was February of 2023. I'm tinting cars. I'm doing the part out. I'm doing all of it. I'm just hustling, trying to get this going. And my wife's still working. My kid's still in daycare. Um, February, March, April, May. So 3 months after I quit my job, my wife's like, "I'm done. I am pregnant. I am frustrated. I don't, something happened at work that she was super uncomfortable with. Something about that, could be she. I don't even remember what it was. It was like some kid, one of the kids, she was a preschool teacher. One of the kids like hit her belly or something. It wound up being nothing, which is fine. I'm thankful that it was nothing, but it was scary. And she's like, "I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." And we had always talked about her coming up and not working anymore. And this is 3 months after I quit my job. So I was like, "Go for it. Come home. Worst case scenario, I can go back to work. We'll figure it out." And she came home, and she's been home ever since. It is now May, June, end of May of 2024. Um, so from 1 year, I quit my job. My wife came home to raise the babies and to no longer work for somebody else. And we just opened our new shop. We bought a lot in our town of Bramer. It's a small rural community about an hour north of Kansas City, Missouri. And we both quit driving to the city every day. We went from making 100 grand a year to what the fuck are we going to do now? So she came home, raised the babies, and thank God business took off. I'm so unbelievably blessed. I am thankful that this community has been so supportive. My friends have been supportive. My family's been supportive. I have met some awesome people along the way. Distributors, people in the same business as me, people in other businesses. I mean, there's so much that you have in common with people, even if they're not in your same business. And networking is the number one thing for a successful business. So we bought this lot in August of last year. So quit the job February and bought a lot in August. I was like, I need to get my own tent shop. I love tent and we're doing this. And so I bought the lot, started figuring out what I was going to do with the building, how I was going to fund it, how I was going to pay for it. And luckily, ground here is cheap. I bought this lot with cash. Um, it was not expensive at all. It was very affordable, and so luckily, we were just able to pay cash for it. I sold my Charger. I had a Dodge Charger. I think I sold it for like $1,600 or whatever, and I used the proceeds to buy this place. So, then I hired contractors for concrete and put a deposit down on my building and all that good stuff. And anyway, we were all done in April 2nd with the ground prep and the concrete. April 3rd, 2nd and 3rd, they put the building up. I had spray foam done about, I don't know, a month later. I did all the electrical and the plumbing myself. I had a buddy of mine hang the garage doors. Shout out to Freedom Garage Doors out of Kearney, Missouri. The spray foam was done by Team Spray Foam out of Jamesport, Missouri. And I came in and painted, and I mean, we set it all up. So anyway, long story short, I know I've been rambling on for 20 minutes now. Thank you if you're still with me for being patient. Long story short is we jumped, and so far so good. Business has grown. I'm also humble enough to know that I could screw up at any minute and this could all be gone and we could be back on the workforce, working for somebody else. So um, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, throw my story out there for those of you that didn't know. But now we do tint, vinyl, remote starts, car audio, hitches, wiring, truck accessories, all sorts of. I mean, we're a restyling shop. We don't detail at this. I say we. It's me. I'm the only guy here. I can't afford an employee. um, as of now, we don't do detailing this winter. I may kick around the idea of doing just some interior details. I don't think there's any point in doing exterior detailing in the wintertime with the kind of winters that we have here in the Midwest. Um, so yeah, I've the vinyl has been taken off too. I've stickered buildings, the front of buildings. I've stickered um, dozens of cars for business stuff, trailers. I've got a set of custom racing stripes to put on tomorrow on a Dodge Charger, so that's going to be cool. It's all custom done with knifeless tape, with a premium cast vinyl with an air egress in it. It's totally different than cut vinyl for you guys that don't know. Yeah, so I'm super stoked about that. But anyway, this is kind of just what I'm starting here is talk shop, bullshit, whatever. I'm hoping to have some call-ins or some someone sitting here next to me or whatever it may be. And I don't really know what we're going to talk about. I haven't got a clue. Um, Business is definitely what I'm focused on. I'm really focused on business. Business is similar to mine. I've got a friend in Minnesota that does tent and vinyl. I've got a buddy in Arkansas that does tent and vinyl. I've got multiple friends here in the Kansas City area or in Missouri that do tent and vinyl. I've got a friend out in where is that out there? Somewhere in Kansas. Ain't Leavenworth. Um, I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, she's got a tent shop out there. It's just people that I've met along the way, and I'd really like to get some of them on here, and even just local small businesses. We can talk finances, we can talk taxes, we can talk um, where you're going from here, what you want to do, investing, buying whatever you want to do, whatever you want. I don't care. We can talk about economics. I don't care. I just kind of wanted to put it out there. It's something to do. Gets everybody some exposure. I'm going to do a little shameless plug here, just because why? It's my podcast or video stream or whatever the fuck this is. Jake at JP Tent Studio, located at 120 Southeast Evans Road in Bramer, Missouri. Phone number 816-866-0332. Website's www.jptentstudio.com. If there's anything that you guys want to talk about, if you want to be on, if you want to bullshit and talk shop, chop it up, do whatever, fuck, sit here and have a beer with me. I don't care. We'll record it and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. But that is what I've got for now, and I don't know how this is going to come across. I'm hoping to get some positive responses from it. And Mama's got dinner going. I'm going home, be with my family, my kids, my wife, have some food, and shut this place down. Peace.